As you walk along the side of the Manila Cathedral, you can see how long and wide it is. You can see so many people going inside it. When you reach the entrance of the cathedral, you can see some unusual carvings on the enormous doors and walls near the door, carvings that I'm not familiar with. Also, the door has carvings of people or events on it, like when Magellan gave a cross to the priest in Cebu. You can see those carvings are very detailed and well preserved, because it is a very old building or church. The walls of the cathedral are not painted, just plain cinder block color. When you enter the place, it will give you the chills, feeling just walking inside it. You will be amazed of the structure of such place. They also have different kinds of statues and figures inside. Those figures are on the side also have fences, so no one can mess it up or break it. But when the time we arrived there, the inside of a cathedral looks like renovated, and it's weird. How come the inside was only renovated and how come the outside wasn't? After looking around the inside of the cathedral, we prayed. After praying, we left the cathedral, and I wanted to come back and look around to know the history of such a place, wondering how come most you can see on the door carvings are priests and pope? Why did then carvers of the door put events there? Could the cathedral be a bridge to the past events that happened in the buildings? Why put such carvings like that? It keeps me wondering.
Every time I ride car to Cavite, I always feel a certain chill every time we pass the amazing show building. The building looked abandoned for decades, with its fading paint and overgrown plants surrounding it. It looked really lonely in the outskirts of the metro. I rarely glimpse people entering the building. I never ask what the story behind its abandonment is, or how it was built. Until one day, I watched a documentary of its origin. It used to be called the Manila Film Center. It was constructed during the Marcos administration, with a great hurry to finish it before the International Film Festival. In the rush to finish the building, I watched the 6th floor collapse on top of the workers. I think they were buried alive with wet cement. It was horrifying to watch the workers trying to rescue one of theirs under the rubble. Now, despite the rumored paranormal activities of the dead workers haunting the present building, I think it is a perfect place for photographers to explore the vicinity for their profession. And someday, I will explore the Manila Film Center.
On a school field trip, my classmates and I went to Biak na Bato National Park in Bulacan. We explored the eerie caves that Katipunero's hidden, and we got to wade in the waters of Aguinaldo Cave. I honestly don't remember much, but I do remember rappelling up on a high bridge over a shallow part of this river. It was called the Balaong River. I remember being really tense lining up to rappel on top of the bridge and debating on whether or not I should have done it. My acrophobia didn't help. My hands were sweaty, and my heart beat really fast just thinking about how big the distance was from the bridge to the ground. When it was my turn to fall off of the bridge, the rappelling instructor made sure everything was secure, and told me to loosen my grip on the rope to move. "The looser your grip," he said, "the faster you'll go down." So I obviously held on to the rope really tightly. I closed my eyes before loosening my grip and moving down the rope. But when I finally opened my eyes and saw the view, it was a view. The river sparkled under the sunlight. The people swimming in the river were like ants to me, and little caves poked their heads out of the sea of trees in the distance. It was breathtakingly beautiful, and my fear of heights just died looking at everything. I was astonished at how well the grounds were preserved, even after so many years. to think that this was where it all started, where the Katipuneros planned their fight for our independence, the revolution against our 300 years of oppression. I wonder if Andres Bonifacio was just as awestruck as I was at their hiding place.
Clark Air Base has had a long bloody history since its establishment in September 1903. Formerly a U.S. military facility, it has been under operation for over 100 years. Now with the Clark Hospital wing abandoned, the years have not been kind, for the years have rotted away what once was. However, these years also brought with them stories. Stories from the past that have come to haunt the present. Mang Taning worked as a night security guard for over 10 years until he had to move to Manila. He claims to have experienced over a dozen unexplainable encounters working at the Clark Air Base Hospital. Natatandaan ko noong Abril 1973, gwardiya ako nun sa main building ng ospital. Unang araw ko nun sa trabaho, excited ako kasi bagong building, bagong uniforme, maraming tao. Yun nga lang, night shift. Sa gabi, oras-oras ako rumuronda. Subalit nung isang hating gabi, narinig kong mabibigat na yapak sa sahig, sa semento. Nanlamig yung buong katawan ko at naramdaman kong tumindig sa kilabot yung balahibo sa mga braso ko. Doon ko siya nakita. Napakalaking tao. Nakapatig, camouflage, complete uniform. Walang muka. Naramdaman kong bumilis yung tibok ng puso ko. Pati tagaktak ng pawis ko sa noo ko, nararamdaman ko eh. Sa takot ko, nabitawan ko nga flashlight na hawak ko eh. Hindi, dinampot ko yung flashlight, binuksan ko, tapos wala na siya. Kumalipas ako ng takbo, palabas ng back gate. Buto yun. Mang Taning's story is only one of the many different accounts of supernatural encounters in the Clark Air Base Hospital. Other stories include apparitions, orbs of light, mysterious voices and gut-wrenching screams, and even music. Some of these spirits have made their presence known by throwing objects at people inside the building, which led to injury. Abandoned, the Clark Air Base Hospital is now off-limits to visitors, mainly because of these extraordinary experiences.
Evidences of a time long past, of people before us who have experienced much more than we have, birthed these treasures that we call landmarks of our country. Pieces of our history, scattered all over the nation, their meaning and value still dear to us Filipinos after all these years. Battered by the constant flow of time and the change of weather, these landmarks that once held beauty incomparable to anything our people have seen, have been aged and whittled down by the elements. However, the historical relevance they hold to us Filipinos still remains the same. Some attract us with how beautifully meshed the creation of man and nature came to be, while others make us rebel because of the mysterious aura they give off. Most, however, instill us with patriotism and let us remember that these landmarks once played a part in the past that make up our present today. Stories of tragedies and victories, of men and women that fought for the freedom of our country. These are the reasons why these kinds of landmarks hold the most relevance to us, because they directly change the course of our own history. There is simplicity in these places that we see around us, but they also hide a depth that we have yet to appreciate until we see and experience it for ourselves. This is the Philippines, the land of beauty, of depth, and of the stories yet to be told.